Shanghai is the first city that Didi went to when he came to China. He spent about 3 months working as a resident singer at the jazz bar there. But due to the weather problem, Didi decided to come to Guangzhou, where it shares a similar weather with Australia.
Definitely, I like the weather. I'm sure you have a lot of people saying that to you. When I first arrived in Guangzhou, I remember it was snowing in Shanghai. And I arrived in Guangzhou, and as you know, the airport road is lined with palm trees. It's nice and warm, you know, there's palm trees.
Now Didi is working as a resident singer at a newly opened hotel in Guangzhou. Talking about his interest in music, it's quite a history.
I was always interested in music because my parents were music aficionados. So I grew up with that. I grew up with my dad playing guitar and my mom always listening to music. And always, I remember when I was very young, my mom used to write out song words for me. And she'd show me and, you know, we'd sing them together.
But Didi didn't have a real musical instrument until he was 7.
My first real instrument was a ukulele. Before that, I only had toys, you know, I only had little toys. I didn't have any real instruments. Toy pianos, those little things that you blow and there's like buttons in there, you know. My father brought this ukulele for my birthday and it was good because, of course, when you're a kid, you want to do what your dad's doing, right? And of course, Dad was always playing the guitar and so it was great for me to get this little ukulele. I didn't take any formal lessons. Basically, what my dad did was he drew a ukulele fretboard on a piece of paper. He didn't label them. He didn't say, oh, this is C and this is D. He just drew the fretboard and drew dots on where the notes should be. And he taught me how to play it. And using the few chords that he drew for me, that's how I started singing and playing ukulele.
Didi started learning piano when he was 12. Not like many of us, Didi decided to learn how to play piano by chance.
When I was growing up, we were always moving, just like now. We were living in many different countries. We lived in Australia, New Zealand, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, Malaysia. And one day we moved and we were always, of course, renting places. And so one day we rented a place that happened to have a piano. This is when I was about 12 years old. There was a piano in the house and Mom just asked me, would you like to play this piano? I'll get you some lessons. And I said, sure, I'd love to.
Now Didi has become one of the most popular jazz singers and pianists in Australia, the #1 most downloaded independent jazz vocals artist. But believe it or not, the first degree that Didi took has nothing to do with music.
When I was young, I was very interested in electronics. And I used to open radios, you know, I used to get a screwdriver and open radios, and this is when I was about 10 or 11. I used to love opening radios and putting it back together again. So I was always interested in electronics. So when it got to the time where I had to go to university, I chose an electrical engineering course, an electronics engineering course. But while doing that course, I discovered that I was more interested in the mathematics behind the electronics than the electronics itself. You know, I love the maths behind it all. And so I transferred my major to mathematics.
Graduated from Sydney Conservatorium of Music in 1997, Didi started playing music as a full-time career. In 2006, Didi decided to go on traveling while giving performances in other countries. Since then, he hardly had a chance to go back to Australia. During these years, he has been a singer and a pianist for most of the time, but sometimes he also gave lessons on singing and piano.
Teaching is a background role to me. It's, you know, the only person who sees you are your students. When you're singing, it's kind of the opposite of that. When you're a singer, when you're a front person of the band, it's like you have to present to everybody. You know, you're the focus of the band. When you're a piano player, sometimes you're not the focus of the band because a lot of the time when I was playing piano, I was accompanying other singers. At the moment, I'm enjoying the role of a front person. I've been doing most of that since I arrived in China, actually.
Didi may leave Guangzhou for Osaka again in September.
I'm going to book you, okay?
I'd be happy to be back. I'm very happy to be back.
However, no matter where he is, his passion towards music will never change.
I think I'll be playing the keyboard or singing till the day I die.